hydrogen as a way of transporting energy around the world and within countries. Hydrogen, technically not an energy source, better seen as an energy storage substance. One of the problems here, though, is liquefying hydrogen takes enormous amounts of energy, up to 1/3 of the energy actually within the hydrogen. One technique that's been suggested, though, is solid air, essentially freezing the nitrogen and oxygen within the air. Let's see how this could be used to reduce the energy lost with hydrogen liquefaction and transport. We're joined by Julian Hunt, lead author of the paper, research scholar at the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis. Thanks very much for joining us, Julian.
Hi, Eddie. Glad to be here.
So as I understand it, the idea would be you need, when you want to liquefy hydrogen, you extract a lot of energy from it. It gets extremely cold. You ship it as a liquid. But then at the other end, the idea would be when it's turned back into a gas, it sucks in energy, and you could use that to freeze air, and then you would ship the air back to the original point and use that cold, as it were, to re-liquefy the hydrogen.
Yes, exactly. We named this cycle solid air hydrogen liquefaction, and you pretty much described it. You can recycle the cold energy within the chain, the industrial chain of hydrogen transportation. And you can store the cold in air by liquefying it first. Then after you solidify air, you could either solidify nitrogen or oxygen. For Canada, for example, if you want to export hydrogen to Europe, I would suggest you to transport oxygen. Why? Because the oxygen can be used to make it more easy, the bioenergy carbon capture storage. Because once you burn biomass only with oxygen, it's much easier for you to capture CO2 and then store it and then make money out of it.
That's interesting. Is this going to be shipping vast amounts of hydrogen around the world in the same way as we ship LNG? Is it going to be practical? Because the hydrogen has to be cooled to an enormously low temperature.
Yeah, so there are today mainly 4 main technologies: liquefying hydrogen, ammonia, liquid organic hydrogen carriers, methanol, other synthetic fuels. But the hydrogen economy is starting now. There is like unlimited potential for innovation in the sector. For instance, there are people looking at transporting hydrogen with balloons. Balloon is lighter than air, so you fill up a balloon and then you lower it in Germany. For example, you use the jet stream to push the hydrogen to Germany, and that they claim that it can lower the cost for hydrogen transportation an order of magnitude. So yeah, this is just a little improvement on hydrogen liquefaction, which we propose here. But yeah, there are millions of infinite possibilities. Of course, in the future, we'll have more and more ideas coming up.
One idea that's come up in Alberta is that they'll use their vast natural gas resources to produce hydrogen. I mean, that's how hydrogen is produced industrially now, but they'll capture the carbon. Does that sound practical? Does that show promise?
Yeah, that's blue hydrogen, I guess, and that's one of the main approaches that are envisaged to develop and implement the hydrogen economy to start with. After we have the economy bursting and prospering, then we would then shift to a more green hydrogen approach.
And just finally, sorry, we've only got about a minute left. With LNG, could you use something analogous to this solid air process when you regasify the LNG? Or the temperature is not as low as hydrogen, though, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. To liquefy LNG, you need minus 120 degrees. Air liquefies at minus 190. So you would require a little bit of refrigeration in the delivery point, but it can still be done, and you can still recover the colds it doesn't make as much sense as we're proposing here to transport solid air, because solid air transports much more cold than liquid air, and lower temperatures
Awesome.
also.
Julian, thank you very much. It's such a learning curve for everyone with this move into more use of hydrogen. Thank you very much indeed. Julian Hunt, a scholar at the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis. Amber, back to you. I know
Thanks,
you've
Andy.
been involved with solid air for many years.
Yeah, I mean, that was really just a refresh of all the things that I already knew. So I appreciate that, Andy Bell. And actually, I'm just going to throw that hot potato back to you because you're hosting Market Call, and that's coming up.